Taylor to really share her wealth of knowledge. So thank you all for joining. I apologize for the technical glitch logging in, but you all passed the test. You're all here and you got through the fiery hoops. So congratulations and have a great evening. I'll be here and I'll be probably back at the very end to say a few closing words. But that's it from me for now.
Mhm.
Thank you all.
Great. Thanks, Duncan. And Toni, I will turn it over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the opportunity to address your audience. I am excited, actually. I believe it was Dean that came on the SCORE webinar. And he heard me speak there and said, you got to speak to my people. So I'm honored that he wanted to share me with you. I am bringing you greetings from Houston, Texas. That's where I live. I am a native Ohioan, but I have lived here in Houston longer than I've lived anywhere else, but I did spend 8 years in Florida as well. So I'm really jealous over there with Dean's background. So I'm got a presentation, but this is highly interactive. If you can't tell already, I am high energy. This is not a presentation where you're just going to sit there and listen to the speaker. I want your engagement. I'm going to have you interact with one another, with myself, and then we're going to do a little exercise and have some fun. And I need you to have your cell phones handy as well, okay?
Okay.
All right. So let me share my screen. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. So I want to make sure I've got the, okay, very good. I want to organize my screen so I can see the majority of you all. It's the advantage of 2 screens. I've been using Zoom since it first started, but not had a great appreciation till right about now. All right, and then you can chat in any comments or questions as well. And then there's a reactions button, should be a reactions button somewhere where you can also give me some hand claps, some smiley faces. I love those things. Can y'all see those reaction buttons? Awesome, wonderful, wonderful, excellent. Okay.
Where are they? Oh, here they are. Okay, thanks.
Yep, perfect, perfect, perfect. Let me get my chat up as well so I can just, awesome. Okay, so the title of this talk is your networking not working? Drastic relationship strategies to get known, get connected, and ultimately to get paid. So let's go ahead and get to know who I am. My business is, I have 3 businesses actually, if you can see the logos right here. I am the networking queen, so I am myself. I am a speaker, Toni Harris Taylor, the speaker, and I have dubbed myself the networking queen. Actually, other people dubbed me the networking queen, and I just embraced it. So, and I help entrepreneurs get known, get connected, and build relationships so that they can turn contacts into contracts. Now, how many of you know it's not what you know, but it's who you know? Show of hands.
Oh, I'm raising my hand.
Right?
For sure.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. But more importantly, it's who knows you. And it's your job to make sure that people know you. It's not their job to help you be rememberable. I had someone tell me just today, she wanted to introduce me to her product. And she said to me, it seems like every time I see you, you're really busy. So she was actually offended that I didn't follow up with her for her product. I'm like, how does that work?
Not your job.
I am really busy. So your perception is very true. So how can you be put off with me for not chasing you to buy your product. So we ironed out the kinks with that, but it's just interesting, the mindset, right? And a lot of us have that as entrepreneurs. We like, I'm not chasing nobody. And there's a fine line between following up and chasing, and we're going to talk about follow-up tonight. But it's really important that you help people to know who you are, so that when something comes up in their world and they can refer you, right? Referral is the best advertising ever, but it takes some time to build those relationships. So I've been an entrepreneur for over 28 years, and I love entrepreneurship, so much so that I actually got a degree in my bachelor's degree is business management with a concentration in entrepreneurship. Now, I know you look at me and say, how is it that a 29-year-old can be an entrepreneur for 28 years, right, James? I know you're thinking that, right? My son, who's 30, says, Mom, you have got to stop saying that you are 29 years old. Actually, he just made 31. I said, son, as long as people think I'm your girlfriend, no, I don't. So, but I have been an entrepreneur for 28 years. I'm a sales and marketing speaker and coach. I'm an author, and I'm a community builder with Network in Action. Network in Action is a networking organization that helps business owners build referrals and build relationships so that they can generate referrals for each other. Any of you familiar with BNI, Business Networking International? It's one of the largest networking organizations in the world, and we admire exactly what they have done. But our founder looked at their model and said, you know, we can do some things differently, and he created Network in Action. So we are looking to grow, and we're looking for franchise owners around the country, and we have none in the state of Washington. So I would love to talk to any of you who think you might want to be a franchise owner. And then a fun fact, I once hung out with Denzel Washington and Wesley Snipes.
Cool.
Can't tell you the story today, but maybe when we do a one-to-one. That was way back in the day when I was younger, but it was fun. That was one of those nights that you will see, you know, when your life flashed before your eyes. I'll see that night. All right, so give me some reactions. This talk is for you if you hate networking. So if that's you, thumbs up. If it's not you, thumbs down. So if you hate networking, give me a reaction. Okay, good. Let me see them, either on the computer or either physically. Okay.
Confused. If we like networking, it's thumbs up, or if we don't like, which was which?
If you hate networking, if you agree, it's thumbs up.
Okay.
So we can throw it up.
And then if you don't agree, it's thumbs down. All right, James, I see you. Shelly, I see you. All right. And then Lisa's come see, come saw, a little this, a little that. Yeah, yeah, you too, Julia. Okay. What about you, Macy? Do you like it? Yeah. So you're like this too. How about you, Jeff? Do you like networking? Thumbs up, or you hate it? You hate networking? Okay. All right, Katie, what about you? I can't hear you. Unmute you. Hold on, Katie. Try unmuting yourself because okay, there you go.
Okay. Yes, my background is corporate sales, so I have networked quite a bit.
Awesome, awesome.
So I could get better at it.
Okay, and that's why you're here, right? Mm-hmm. So here's the deal. This talks for you if you hate networking, or if you come see, come saw about it and you're like, some days it's great and some days not so great, then hopefully you will pick up some things here that will make a difference. Now, this talk is for you if you feel like networking is a waste of time because you pass out a bunch of business cards and no one ever calls you. Anybody? Anybody? We pass out business cards. People, nobody calls, right? I hate when that happens.
Don't bother me.
If you don't have a method to stay connected to your network, and we're going to talk about that as well. So what's possible, ladies, when we like to have a body like that? Probably all of y'all have one of those. So turn your contacts into contracts. That's the ultimate goal of networking. Build relationships online and offline that turn into referrals. The online piece is really critical right now because we cannot do anything offline. I'm sure hoping that's going to end very soon. But in the meantime, we have online at our disposal. Are we using it to the best of our ability? Become a networking guru who never has to make a cold call again. Now, if you love cold calling, let me see. Thumbs up if you love cold calling. Katie loves cold calling? No, right? Most of us are thumbs down on the cold calling. I personally hate cold calling because I'm that person now. I've done all the personality assessments. And so I'm that personality. I want people to like me. And so cold calling and being rejected and slamming the phone down is no bueno. Now, I will tell you something funny about that. I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses. All we do is cold call on people, door to door. So it's funny, but I hate doing it for my business. So what we hopefully will never have to make another cold call. Now, why am I a good person to talk about this? Because I've grown my business internationally, strictly by networking. Strictly by networking. I do not make not one phone call, no cold calls, never have in all the years that I have been in business. So the word drastic, when I say the word drastic, what light does that bring to you guys? So you can unmute yourself and tell me what the word drastic means to you. Heather, I haven't heard from you. Can you unmute yourself? You can't? Let me see if I can unmute you. Okay, I got you.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah.
So what do you do, Heather?
So I currently work at Microsoft, AI and people with disabilities. When I think drastic, I just think a really desperate person.
Okay. All right. Very good. I've heard that before. Anybody else? What other words come to mind when you think of the word drastic?
Anxious.
Anxious. Okay. Emily, was that you?
No, Alan.
I said
okay, Alan, that was you. Emily, what did you want to say?
Extreme.
Extreme. Extreme. So people don't get drastic until they feel like they have to. But here's what I want to share with you. I adopted the word drastic and actually trademarked the words drastic steps because I believe that no one gets success without getting drastic, whatever that means for you. There's no one that's successful inside their comfort zone. Do y'all agree with that? Everybody's got to get out of their comfort zone to get success, whatever that means for you. And so the word drastic for me, sometimes it's the baby steps, like showing up on this webinar. 80 people registered tonight, but you showed up.
Wow.
That's drastic, right? So you showed up without any expectation or any knowledge of what you would receive. You could be in front of the TV like probably half the people who didn't show up, watching people that already have made their millions of dollars. But you chose to turn the TV off and come here to talk, listen to a strange woman you never met before. And I will tell you something. The first step to success is showing up, and you just never know what nuggets you can get that can change the trajectory of everything. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for being drastic. You probably don't even see it as drastic, but honestly, there's so many people who are doing nothing that should be here and they're not. So I want you to pull out your cell phones if you haven't done this already. And I want you to open a new text message. And you're going to text the phone number 22828. And you're going to type the word drastic in the message and hit send. And then I have a video series. It's like 7 videos on how you can improve your networking. How many of you have an autoresponder email series that you send out to your prospects? No. Okay, Emily, yes. Awesome. Okay. This is one of the easiest, most affordable ways to be able to grow your list. So I use Constant Contact, but there's MailChimp, Constant Contact, lots of other email marketing series out there. I will tell you, I think, Dean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you got on my email list, and because you are on you're receiving my emails, that's what made you reach out to me to say, can you do this video for me?
That's correct.
Okay. So the reason I am in front of you tonight is because I use this strategy. I actually use this strategy. I've got over 5,000 people on my email list. It's the cheapest, most affordable way to collect information. So if you want more information about why and how you should do this, because here's the deal. When you are networking, all right, I'm leaning in now. Y'all see that? So when you are networking, you got to have a way to stay connected to people. Because just like they're not calling you, you're probably not calling them either. And this is an easy way, even when you're networking, you say, you know what? I got this free gift I want to give to you. If you don't mind, can you pull out your cell phone and text this real quick? And that way we can stay connected through email. Okay? So that's just one strategy to keep you connected to people without you having to do a ton of follow-up. All right, so let's get into my 8 tips. And I got to keep my time going. Okay, good. And what time are we scheduled to be done, Dean? I just want to make sure I know.
8:30.
8:30, so that's 10:30 my time. Oh, shucky ducky now, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going that long because it's 10:30 my time. I'm old. All right. Show up, be up, follow up to blow up. I made that up. That's my saying. And it's the truth. You have to show up. You have to be up. You have to follow up in order to blow up. So the first drastic step to success is to show up. And like I've already said, there are 50 people who chose not to show up tonight. I've already seen connections. Julia's got 2 or 3 connections already just because she showed up here, right? And that could be life-changing. Who knows? Or not. But I guarantee you this, if you don't show up, it's not every time. So what do I mean by show up? Well, all of us get things in our email that say you should come to our events, especially now we're getting lots of emails about online stuff. So register. And if there's a fee to attend, if it's a live event, pay the fee as soon as you see it. Don't wait. Register, put it on your schedule, and show up. Now, when you show up, you have to be up. What does be up mean? So I'm going to have you unmute, talk to me. When I say you need to be up, what does that mean to you?
I guess it means participation.
You got to participate. That's right. What else?
You got to bring your top game.
Bring your A game. Absolutely. Very good. You got to look the part, whatever the part is. But I'm often surprised how people show up these days. Now, do I expect you to be in a three-piece suit and dressed down to the nines and a skirt suit? And that's these days not required. Show up and be up, though, what your industry requires. And sometimes people show up and they look a hot mess. First impressions still do matter. Have your energy on. I know I'm an extrovert. I know I'm high energy, but I will tell you there are many times I go to events and I don't feel like it. And I'm in the car talking myself into going into the event and showing up the way I know I'm supposed to. How many introverts? How many introverts? Okay. And so introverts, I tell my introvert clients, and introverts hire me all the time because I think they just want a piece of me. But introverts are, I tell them all the time, you have to be a situational extrovert. You can't let us extroverts have all the fun. So when you go to an event, or even when you show up online, you have to flip a switch and say, okay, I am going to show up. I'm going to be up. And then when you get back in the car, you can turn the switch off. I think about Miss Beyonce. Alan mentioned her. I think it was Alan that mentioned her earlier. I think about Miss Beyonce. Miss Beyonce is one of the biggest introverts out there. If you've ever seen an interview with her, she's very demure, low key. She is not like I am right now. But baby, when she gets on stage, does she flip a switch and transform? Absolutely. So we have to bring out our inner Beyonce or whatever, whoever that character is for you, so that when you show up, you have your energy on. And then follow up. Follow up is really important, and we're going to talk about that. Following up it's a mindset, and many of us don't do it because we don't want the rejection, but we'll talk about that as well. So show up. When the event comes across your desk, register. Invite a friend, right? If you don't want to go by yourself, invite that friend that is going to take you and introduce you to everybody. And then we're going to find out more about how to phone a friend and go to events with them. All right. Any comments about showing up and being up? Any feedback on that? No? Okay. Excellent. Know your target market and where to find them. How many of you know who your target market is? Who's your buyer? For sure. Emily, who's your buyer? Unmute yourself. Let me see if I can unmute you.
Oh, no,
There you go.
there it is. My target market is people who have been on numerous diets, and they've gotten to the point where they're really frustrated, and they want to make a change. So they're more open to hearing a different approach with food.
Awesome. I love that. So she's very specific. People who have been on numerous diets, right? And they're frustrated. So and it can be male and female, right?
Correct.
Okay. Very good. So she doesn't want the beginning dieter. She wants the one that's been tried them all and really are frustrated. Okay. Do we have a delay in my Looks like we have a delay. Is that right? Let me call in. Hold on, y'all.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by enter your participant ID followed. You are in the meeting now. There are more than 20 participants in the meeting. This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, can you hear me now? Somebody unmute and say yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. I wanted to switch to the phone because I was seeing a delay in the internet. Okay, so who else knows their target market? Emily, thanks for sharing. Alan, you raised your hand. Who's your target market, sir? Uh-oh, you're on mute. Unmute. Let me unmute you. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Who's my targeting marketing in the field I'm in?
Who's your buyer?
Well, whew, dang. Oh boy, it's hard to explain it in terms based on animation. At the moment, I have none at the moment, but I would.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that on our call.
Yes.
So, who else knows you have a target market? So, what I find with the entrepreneurs that I coach is they have no clue who their buyer is. And most of the time, it's anybody that's got skin, anybody, everybody. If the word body is in your target market, you don't have a target market. So it's important that you are very narrow on who your target market is. Now, I get a lot of pushback on this. Like for instance, I'm a sales and marketing coach, but my target market is budding entrepreneurs. I'm not looking for the person that's been in business for 30 years. That's not my target market. My target market is that budding entrepreneur who hates sales and marketing, and they know they need to build relationships to grow their business. So I want you all to really think about who your target market is. So probably the reason your networking is come see, come fly, so, or thumbs down is because you are not networking where the people who want your product is. You're not networking where the people who have a pain that your product can solve is. You're going to the wrong events. So I was at an event recently, and there was a man there who sold software systems. And there was probably 200 people at the event. And I asked him, he was complaining. He said, I go to these events and I don't get anything out of them, but people tell me I need to go, and I keep showing up, but I'm just not having any success. And I said, well, who is your buyer? And he knew his buyer. He said, my buyer is chief information officers at corporate entities. Well, there was not one of them there at this event. I said, you're at the wrong place. He said, well, I don't know where they are. I said, okay. I said, have you heard of Google? He said, of course, Toni, I've heard of Google. I said, you need to Google Chief Information Officer Organization in Houston. So I did it right there on the spot on my computer. And Bing, 3 organizations came up. He said, Toni, I never even thought of that. So you really need to know who your buyer is before you start networking so that you're going to the places where potential buyers are. Now, When you go to these events, though, you are not there to sell people. You're there to get known. And one of the ways you get known is by being a giver first. You must have a giving mentality before you can ask for anything. So your ambition when you go to these events are to find the people you can help, right? Which is counterintuitive because most of us are there to help ourselves first. So we're going to talk about what that looks like in a few minutes. But knowing your target market is the second step to success when it comes to networking. That way, you're putting yourself in the right places with the right potential clients. All right, the third thing is you got to be prepared. So I am a speaker. And I typically network for speaking opportunities because I use speaking as my marketing tool to generate clients for my networking business and for my coaching business. So I often want to know who are the leaders of the organization that's putting on the networking event. Make sure that when you go to these events, you've done a little bit of homework. Go to the organization's website. Write down the name of the president, the name of the programs person, the name of the any of the leaders that you think you might want to connect with. Then when you show up, have your business card. Now, that seems like a dumb moment, but I can't tell you how many times I've gone to events and people are like, I don't have a business card. I don't have a business card. And ladies, we're guilty, myself included. I've done it too, because we change purses. So if you're that fashion-forward girl, put the business cards in the car. That way, if you change purses and you forget to move them, you at least have some cards in the car. It's so simple, right? And then the other thing you can do is take a picture of your card. And then you have the picture, at least you can text it to the person if you don't have physical cards on you. And then you get their text phone number in your phone. Now, people ask me about digital cards. Does anybody have an opinion about digital cards? Anybody use them? No, not much? Okay. So I have an opinion about digital cards. I don't particularly care for digital cards. I think they're neat and I think they're way cool, but I also think they get lost in my other 5,000 contacts in my phone. So I like the physical card because I have something tangible on my desk to remind me you got to follow up with this person. So the other thing is you can't win the door prizes with a digital card. You got to have the physical card in the bucket. So I still think physical cards have a place. All right, so this picture you see, which is very illegible, I understand that, but it's a piece of notebook paper where I was going to an event. It was a big event, and there were 7 women's organizations there that I wanted to speak to. I wanted to be their lunchtime, breakfast, dinner speaker. Any other people speak to promote your business? Shelly, your business is all about you should be speaking to promote your business. The black belt.
It's a matter of time. I literally just incorporated in January and trying to get, and in the middle of the coronavirus, everything shut down. I'm waiting for my website. I'm actually, speaking of cards, I'm actually designing my own card because I do the calligraphy, so I'm doing calligraphy. So if anyone wants me to do calligraphy for their card, I always look for fun things to do, and I can do your name. So you can.
So Shelly, I want calligraphy. So get with me. I want to see your work.
Oh, okay.
So those of you who aren't speaking yet to promote your business, if you have any type of educational information that will pique people's interest, I would
I would ask you to consider being that lunchtime, breakfast, dinner speaker at these networking events. They don't usually pay, but it is your prospecting ground. And that's how I've been able to get 5,000 people on my email list, because I build in the text to join into my presentation. So back to this image. So there were 7 organizations I had not spoken at yet that I wanted to speak at. So I just went on the website, found each of the organizations, when they meet, and the president's name. When I went to the organization, I knew some people there. I say, hey, this is a list of people I'm here to meet. Who do you know on this list? Oh, I know her. I know her. Long story short, I got 5 out of 7 speaking engagements. Okay, so do your research, be prepared, and then have your calendar. And I'm going to tell you why that's important shortly. All right, the next step is join a referral networking group like NIA or any other referral networking group. Why is that? Because all the members have invested in themselves to help you grow your business. Yes, they're going to help themselves grow their business too, but the reason why people join a referral networking group is to help bring each other warm leads. It is the best investment in marketing most of you can make if people do business with you because they know you, like you, and trust you. So that's why I bought the franchise, because I know that this is something that people have to have if their business is based on relationships. Not every business is based on relationships, right? But if your business is like ice cream cookies, ice cream sandwiches, that's not a relationship-based business, right? And unless you're trying to get big contracts, then a referral group might not be ideal for you, okay? But a lot of these other businesses here, absolutely, becoming a part of a referral networking group is one of the best things you can do, because they're all looking out for you to bring you warm leads while they're out in the world talking to their clients and networking. What better way can you have a sales force of 20 to 25 other people looking for you leads? So if there's no NIA in Washington yet, but I definitely want to talk to anyone who thinks they might want to be a leader of a networking organization, because it's a great business model. All right, stay connected. Social media. How many of you love Facebook? Oh, come on, people. Shelly loves Facebook. She's that person now. Oh, no, okay, Julia, thank you. Okay, Hannah, I see you. Kenny, okay. Anybody else? Okay, Lisa, awesome. Then unmute yourself and tell me, what is your favorite social media platform? What's your favorite social media platform?
Well, interestingly, I took a social media class. I mentioned that I do digital marketing, and it really depends on what your object is. You know, to go, this is my favorite or this isn't, you know, it depends. If you're going really visual, Pinterest can be really good, or Instagram. Facebook is a very older crowd. If you're going for a younger crowd, it's not the right one for them, because they consider it for old people. And LinkedIn, if you're a business, that's the right one for there. And Twitter is, you know, it's got its own ecosystem, as it were. So I don't think people should really think in terms of their favorite. It should be what is going to work for what your objective is.
And it goes back to, Shelly, thank you, back to your target market. It's really not, and she's answering the question just right, it's really not what's your favorite. It is, where's your target market? And then you better make that one your favorite, right? So, but social media, yes, Julia. Unmute. Let's unmute you.
Just a question. Okay. okay, Facebook is for all of the over 50 crowd. What would you say, other than Instagram, which I hate, what is for the under 30 group or the under 40 group? What would you suggest? What would be a good one? Because I'm going to be writing a YA novel soon, and yeah, I'll need to connect with all the teenagers, and yeah, Facebook is not it. So what would you suggest?
Okay. So anybody else have thoughts?
Usually, and I did my focus group of my 14-year-old. They are on Pinterest, the girls especially, but it's becoming more guys. It's actually shifting over the past few years. And TikTok. They absolutely adore TikTok. And despite what you say about Instagram, they like Instagram too.
They like Instagram. They like Instagram, and we just have to, if that's where your demographic is, you're going to have to learn to like it. I don't like IG either, but my target market's not there. Thank goodness. So I do some IG, but it is not my favorite to navigate. But I've hired someone to do it for me just so I have a presence there. Somebody else's hand was up. Alan, go ahead and unmute yourself. Let me unmute you.
Okay, can you
go
hear
ahead,
me?
Alan.
Sorry about that. The question you come back about the marketing and buyers and based on animation. I'm sorry, the confusion about not answering your question. When you mean by marketing, I'm thinking about the audience of the people's attention, right? Like age groups or anything like that in particular?
Well, when I asked the question before, I was asking who's your buyer? Who has the money to buy your product?
Okay.
And while your target market may be children, do they have the money? And I don't know if your target market is children, but the question becomes, do they have the money? So it's kind of a dual marketing situation with that.
How about in advertising in a way as well?
Yeah, advertising, you need to know your demographic.
Okay.
When you run ads on social media, you got to know who that buyer is. Who's the one with the card, the credit card? Okay. So social media, when you meet people networking, you want to stay connected to them on social media because they may not do business with you now, but as they see you and they see you posting about your business and posting about your personal, they feel a connection to you, and then they want to do business with you, and they bring you referrals. Okay.
I like.
So.
I'm like. Go ahead. You talk. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I like the LinkedIn. I like the LinkedIn and TikTok. I just got into it due to the fact what LinkedIn has for me, and I've been messing it for over a decade actually, off and on. MySpace was the first one back in 2005. I like the professionalism of the backgrounds of others who I deal with. I mean, especially in the animation, and I kind of got into it for a couple of years and got involved into doing it. I see the backgrounds. Most of the people who work for Marvel and DC Comics and Warner Brothers, or in that kind of category, in that field. And TikTok kind of helps actually if you want to advertise your animation of the works of someone doing it for you, and it takes a minute of your clip, and depends on the content and the quality of it, that can make more views, you know what I mean, and get more likes. Or it doesn't have to be likes, they just have more people look at it.
Yeah.
In a way.
So, and when I'm talking about staying connected on social media right now, I'm talking about building relationships. So LinkedIn is more of a somewhat of a relationship building platform. But even with LinkedIn, and I have a lot of contacts on LinkedIn, and my two favorites is Facebook and LinkedIn, but LinkedIn doesn't give you, especially those of us who are really relationship driven. Alan, you're not as much relationship driven as you are talent driven.
Okay.
Right? People will do business with you because they see your stuff and it's beautiful and it catches their eye and it's entertaining, right? But someone like Julia or Shelley or Emily, they're going to do business with Emily because of relationship. Because there's like a million health coaches out there, a million products out there. People are going to do business with Emily because they like what Emily has to say on social media.
Gotcha.
Emily, what do you use for your social media to build relationships? Uh-oh, let me unmute you. Okay. Here you go, Emily.
Located.
So I just started an Instagram account.
Yeah.
And I do also have a LinkedIn account as well. Facebook I haven't really done much with, but I plan to in the future. But I like Instagram because I've seen other accounts who are similar to me use it, and I feel like they're really successful in using it. So I've kind of gotten ideas off of other people's accounts that are similar to mine.
Yeah. So here's why I love Facebook. I still love Facebook, by the way. And the reason why is because people tell you all their business. And that's why y'all hate it, because people tell you all their business. So, but if you're in a relationship business, then, and you're paying attention to what people are saying, then you can connect to them based on what they say and what they do. And when you start networking and getting out, you're going to start seeing some of the same people all the time. And then when you comment on how cute my little grandson is, which he is doggone adorable, I want to talk to you some more. You come to me and you say, oh, Toni, I saw all those pictures of you and your grandson. He is so cute. Then I'm going to want to know about your grandson and your kids and what you've got going on, right? It establishes that relationship. So I'm going to tell you a couple of stories at the end of how I stay connected. But I love LinkedIn. So what I love to do right now is get us connected. I want y'all to connect to me on LinkedIn. Now, take a picture of this screen, because have anybody done this? This is when you go live and you're in a room and you are connecting. You can turn on Bluetooth and connect to everybody in the room's LinkedIn page. Has anybody done that? It is the coolest thing. You are the belle of the ball, the life of the party, if you bring this to your network. They're like, oh my God. So I'm going to see if I can bring up, hold on one second. So what you would do, it won't work now. Why? Because we're not all in the same room. But when you do this at an event, everybody in the room turns on their, hold on a second, I've got this window in the way. Okay, everybody turns on, follows these steps, and then what it will do is find everybody in the room who has their LinkedIn turned on. And then you can connect. All right, did everybody take a picture of that? Hold on, let me get y'all back in my view. Did y'all take a picture of that? Do you understand it? Okay, so the next thing is, before you do this, don't do anything here yet. Open your LinkedIn app on your phone. All right, so this is something I do when I network. And you're going to go to this screen. This is the main screen. So touch My Network at the bottom of your window. This is an Android. iPhones may be laid out a little bit different, but it says My Network at the bottom of the window. It's got two heads right there. You got that? Now, at the top of the screen, LinkedIn, there's 4 dots at the end of the search bar. Y'all see the search bar? You see the 4 little dots there? Tap that. And it should open up a window where you can scan somebody's code. So if you want, you can just hold it up to my QR code on the screen and you will find my profile. And you can connect to me there. I'm unmuting you. Hold on. Maybe not. There you go.
I got it.
You got it. Excellent.
Mhm.
Now, at the top of that screen, you should see where it says My Code. That's where your QR code is. So imagine you're at a networking event and you say, hey, let's connect on LinkedIn. Let me show you something. You tap on the screen, you get them to scan your code, you scan their code. Actually, only one code needs to be scanned, and then you guys will be connected. And again, you'll be the coolest one at the doggone networking event. Everybody gonna wanna know, how did you learn to do that? And you can say, I spent my Monday night on a virtual call that taught me that. And then you can share your code and save your code to your gallery as well. So that's how you can use LinkedIn. Yes, Katie.
Are you automatically connected? So it's like an automatic acceptance?
No. So when they scan, it's still going to send you, and you have to click connect to accept it.
Okay.
Okay. Was that cool? Yay?
Very cool.
Awesome. 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 All right. And then you can put your QR code on any, because it's an image, so you can put it on any document you want and get people to connect to you there.
Okay.
Right? So you put it on marketing materials. You can use it any way you want. It's an image. All right. So next time you go to a networking event, you'll be the hit of the party because you know some technology they don't know. And I'm often surprised how many people don't know about that. Okay, so the fortune is in the follow-up. And let me just say this, the deals are won and lost in the follow-up. And as entrepreneurs, we sometimes get in our head about following up. So tell me what you guys think about follow-up. The truth.
Well, for my last business, it was gold because I would take a sheet that was on a clipboard and it just had name and email. And I said, I would go to people and I'd hand them this clipboard and I would say, sign up for our free e-newsletter. And when they objected, I said, guess what? It's free, worth it at twice the price. Worked every time, almost. And then when that convention or whatever was done, inputted those to the new newsletter that we sent out, and then you could see the spikes because we use Constant Contact, and you can see who opens it, who clicks through, what's working with things, and then you can see the spike in sales if you've got stuff on sales. So it's
awesome. Well. And you're using Constant Contact, that's what I use. Mm-hmm. So now instead of having the clipboard and you can't read their handwriting, you can do text to join, and they can just text, and then plus you're using technology, and then you're cool again. So that's a great way to follow up. What about you? Yes, Julia. Unmute. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Just a second. Constant Content. What's that? Never heard of it.
Oh, you never heard of it. Constant Contact is email marketing. So if you were to go in your inbox right now, half the newsletters that are in there are powered by Constant Contact. So constant contact is email marketing. In fact, if you were to go to your email now, if you did the drastic, you have an email from me with that first video.
Okay,
And
is that the same? Is that the same as MailChimp?
Yes, they're competitors.
Okay.
Yes. So if you use MailChimp, then that works too.
Okay.
Now I happen to sell Constant Contact. I used to be I still am a solution provider for them, one of their top salespeople. So I still use it and I love it, but I'm not here to sell that to you. I'm here to sell the concept to you. You got to have some kind of strategy to follow up automated. Here's why. And this is not my email marketing talk, and I always come back and do that. But whether you open the email or not, Jeff, for instance, we all get 100 emails a day. Everybody, right? Whether you open the email or not, you see every person that sent you the email. Because you got to scan every one to say, oh, I'm not going to open that one right now. So as soon as you see Toni's name, an image, a thought, something pops into your mind, whether you open it or not. And that's how you keep your name, keep being known, it's branding, staying in front of your potential target audience. And when I tell you I'm here because I sent an email, I have an automated email and Dean opened it, I'm here because of that. How many of you ever bought anything from an email? Right? Somebody send the advertising. We all do. We get the coupons. We run to the store. So you ever signed up for an event through an email? How'd you learn about this tonight? Email, right? So there you have it. But as entrepreneurs, we sometimes neglect the strategies that some of the big companies use, and it's really affordable. So one of the follow-up strategies is email. Okay, so we all agreed earlier, we go to events, we have business cards, we leave with a stack of business cards. Y'all tell me what happens next. Heather, unmute. Uh-oh, let me unmute you. Hold on.
Yeah, I
Go
was
ahead.
saying that's why I have a hard time with the business cards, because you don't remember or you don't get to them. You get really busy, and I really like the LinkedIn because you kind of figure out what you have in similarity, and that helps me to remember a connection to that person than a business card where I might have forgot something they told me.
Okay, so it's okay. That's a good point. But it's okay to take notes on their card while they're talking to you. You know what that does? It says, oh, she's listening. She's jotting down notes. Oh, she's going to follow up with me for real because she took enough time to write down something I said. Okay, so by all means, especially if you are 30 plus, like me, I'm 30, you write down something interesting about the person on the business card. But I also, like you said, the LinkedIn works as well. What else? Any other feedback? What happens after the event? And now that we're virtual, it's almost harder to make those connections. Right? So here's what happens after the event. Nothing. And that's what was happening for me. In 2005, I really was networking hard I was a financial advisor. I was actually a manager, and I started networking. And I found myself very frustrated because I would go to events, pass out a bunch of cards, and receive a bunch of cards, and nothing would happen. I'd get back to my office, get busy. Nobody would call anybody. And that's happening to everybody. And I was frustrated. So I ended up hiring a sales and marketing coach, and she taught me how to network. Actually, her only thing was how to network. And I paid $6,000 in 2005 for this business coach to teach me how to network. And the number one thing she taught me is something I'm getting ready to teach you now. And it really gets rid of, hire a coach. There you go. I'm coming back to that. This right here. It gets rid of the follow-up. Ask for a date. I paid $6,000 to learn how to ask for a date. Now, my coaching doesn't cost $6,000, but I will tell you that was the best money I have, bar none, I've ever spent in my business. Because not only did she tell me to ask for a date, but she taught me how to ask for a date. And right now I can't, I'm going to skim over it a little bit, and we're going to actually act out a date. But this right here will change your networking life. But it's drastic. Remember I started off talking about drastic? This one right here is drastic. So how does it work? Okay, let's see who I want to play with. Okay, Heather, your mute is off.
Yeah.
Will you be my new networking friend?
Sure.
Okay, so y'all pay attention. So, hi Heather, how are you?
I'm well. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. What do you do?
So I focus on an AI camp for high school students with disabilities.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. And you work for Microsoft, right?
Yes.
You said
yes.
that. Yeah, I see it on your badge. Okay, very good. That is awesome. And so why are you out networking though, if that's who you work with? Are you looking for something specific?
Yeah, I'm looking to figure out how to really scale that offering. There's so much that I can do inside the company, but there's just so many more people that I could reach by taking it up and making it my own outside the company.
I love that. I love that. So I tell you what, I know you want to meet all these other wonderful people that are here at the event, and so do I. Would you mind if we set up a coffee date where I could learn more about your projects and what you're working on and how I might be able to help you?
Oh, that sounds great. I would like that.
Awesome. So do you have your calendar on your phone?
Yeah, I do.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and book it now. And before we leave, I have my goal when I go networking. Listen, let me say this. If I put on my face, it costs me money to walk out the door. I got to put my makeup on. I got to pick out the right hair. I have a wall of wigs over here, by the way. So I got to pick out the right hair, the right outfit, drive in traffic, pay a cover charge. You best believe I'm leaving with some dates, not just business cards. Mm-hmm. So when I leave events, I have 5 dates. That's my goal because I know that's how many my calendar will allow for. And now that we're all virtual, I still make it my business to get dates with people that I find interesting by listening to who they are and what they do virtually. So what I'll do is use Zoom and send them a private chat while the training or whatever is going on. And I'll just say, hey, I'm very interested in connecting with you. I think I might be able to help you, not you help me, help you. Now, Heather's a really nice young lady. So once we have coffee and we have a connection and we get personal and I start talking about, my interest in technology and I went to school and blah, 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 she's going to love me. And she's going to say, well, how can I help you? And if I know somebody I can refer her to, I'm going to do the referral. Okay? But that's drastic, y'all. But I promise you, I don't go to any events without leaving with at least 3 dates, but my goal is always 5. Otherwise, it's not worth my time. It's not worth showing up. because I know they're not going to call me, and I know, and I will get pushback on the date. People will say, "Oh, I don't, I'm busy, whatever." Sometimes I wonder, why do they even show up? I say, you know what? That's okay. My calendar goes out into infinity. Let's get something on the calendar. And then if they insist that they don't want to put it on the calendar, I'll either walk away, not my people. I'm okay with that. Or if they genuinely, they got a project they're working on or something like that, I have a link that's meetwithtoniharristaylor.com. Meetwithtoniharristaylor.com. Alan actually went there tonight. I'm not sure how he got it, but he went there tonight and he scheduled a Zoom call with me for Wednesday. And I make it automated and simple for them. So you can use, mine is connected to a company called Vacita, but you could use Calendarly, Time Trade, and you just create a custom URL and point it to that calendar. And then they are like, wow, you got this all set up. Yes, I do, because I'm serious about my networking. And I now do Zoom one-to-one. So we're not going to Starbucks. I'm doing Zoom one-to-one, and I'm connecting one-to-one with people over Zoom. Zoom is even better because I don't have to drive and buy coffee I don't want to eat and eat stuff I shouldn't. So Zoom one-to-one is 30 minutes. And if I can refer them to someone, I will. And typically with someone like Heather, I'm going to get on their social media. I'm going to link in with them. I'm going to get on Facebook with them before I have coffee with her. Why? Why? Why would I do that?
You get to know the person.
I get to do all the spying so that when I get with her, I know a little bit about her.
Yeah.
And why I want to do Facebook? Because if she got kids, I want to talk about kids. She got dogs, I want to talk about dogs. Right? So that's why. All right, feedback on that. I know I got a lot of people got their camera off. I don't know if y'all are still with me or not. Thank y'all for keeping your camera on, those that have your camera on. I so appreciate that, because as a speaker, I don't know if these people are playing tiddlywinks in the background or listening. So give me some feedback on asking for a date. Can you do it? Is it drastic?
It's drastic, but I felt that you were genuine with it and it didn't feel like a cold call in person.
And the other thing is, when I do the coffee or the Zoom, once I tell the person who I am and what I do, if they need it, they'll say, oh, I'm interested in that. I don't have to sell them anything. Once they learn who I am and what I do, they're just like, you know what? Toni, tell me more about that. And if they are or if they say, it's not for me, but I may know somebody, that's just as good. So learning to ask for a date on the spot will make your networking, you will not be this way about networking anymore. You'll be like this. Now, networking is a lot like dating in the real world, right? So ladies, I got lots of ladies here. Remember when we were younger, some of you are still young, like Heather and Clarissa, and you go out and you go to the party or you go to the club and Mr. looks so good, catches your eye across the room, and he sashays over and he say, girl, can I buy you a drink? And you're like, yeah. And he buys you a drink and you have a nice conversation. He say, can I get your number? And you give him the real number. And then a few days later, you waiting for him to call you. A week later, you waiting for him to call you. And the buster never calls. It's the same thing with networking. You meet these people and you make a good connection, and then nobody ever calls anybody. So when you ask for a date, some of the dates are not going to be good. I'm telling you now, that person is like, just like in the real world with dating. It's like, no, you don't get a second date. And then some people are, they're going to do business with you. They're going to become your referral partner. They're going to be your connection. I mean, and I've had some people that I've had dates with, and it may have taken them a year to do business with me. And they have taken me as long to do business with them. But we are connected because we took the time to get to know each other. So does any of this make sense, or am I just like, yeah, thank you. So we're going to practice the date. I wanted to do breakout rooms. We didn't get it set up. So you all got the checklist. So the checklist is designed for us to have a one-to-one date. So I'm just going to take 10 minutes. Who wants to volunteer to be my date? Okay, Macy. Thank you, Macy. Unmute yourself. All right. And let me unmute you. There you go. All right. So
Thanks.
I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share my checklist.
Great.
Actually, stop sharing for a second. All right. So you got the checklist, Macy?
Yes, I do.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Excellent. So you can use this as a guide. You guys can make a copy, make as many copies as you need. And this checklist is just going to keep you on task, because sometimes when you have your dates, they go all sideways and it's like, we didn't talk anything about business. So, can everybody see my screen there? All right. So Macy, I'll take the lead first. So I have the checklist. What do you do?
I am a therapist, marriage and family therapist.
Okay. Say it again. I didn't hear the second word.
I'm
Therapist?
sorry. Marriage and family therapist.
Oh, okay. Marriage and family. Okay. Very good.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Are you in private practice?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Very good. So describe your ideal client. I mean, it's kind of obvious in what you do, but you know, what am I listening for?
Mm. So I enjoy working with children. The youngest I work with is 2-year-old. Of course, individual as well. The oldest is 82. So I have a broad range of clients, but I enjoy working with children, especially young children under 12. And also I enjoy working with high conflict couples, especially if they're in the process of, figuring out if they want divorce or not, has high conflict, and that's also my specialty. And I'm trained getting certified as a sex therapist. So LGBTQ population is also my specialty. And I speak Mandarin.
Okay.
Yeah, so many of my clients is actually biracial. Like usually wife is a Chinese and they speak Chinese to me, and the husband is white. So I speak English to them. Many times it's, that's a combination like language barrier and of course therapeutic purposes as well. So.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
You know very well who your target market is. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah,
so,
figuring out for a long time.
So, okay. So, first of all, I may know someone who has a child that might need your help.
Oh, thank you.
And so overall, not just with your clients, but you know, you're self-employed, and so there's lots of challenges with that, right?
Mhm.
So what do you need today? I mean, and it doesn't have to be around your clients. It can be, I need an assistant, or so what do you need today?
I think I need a marketing help. Like I really enjoying the part is work in person with client. But again, as doing business as a entrepreneur, as you said, is the marketing definitely sales and marketing is a big part of the practice. I just time consuming. I'd love to find someone is very professional in the industry, which is facing the therapist marketing. It's a little different than product and other services is because of that, very specific way to do marketing. I felt that way. Like, yeah, just that's my need.
So do you think you want to do the marketing, or do you want to hire somebody else? Do you want to fish for yourself, or you want to hire somebody to fish for you?
I want to hire someone fishing for me. It's easier for me to put all my attention and energy to work with clients, and that's what I do best, other than doing marketing for sure. It's not my specialty. Yeah.
So so the next question on the questionnaire is, who can I refer them to? So I actually, in my networking group, have a marketing specialist. Her name is Suzette. I'd love to introduce you to Suzette. She works virtually, and maybe there's a connection between the two of you. So would you be open to an introduction?
Yeah, definitely.
So what's the best way to introduce you? Is it text message? Maybe I can do a group text message between you and her, or email, or in person is impossible. So email or text message.
Yeah, email would be better. I think I have more content I can read, and and then I would prefer in person, like the Zoom meeting or etc. It's easy to exchange ideas and knowing what she's good at, and if that's fit for my needs, etc. So
perfect. Awesome. Okay, so so I'll introduce you all through email. Now, here's a really important question for me. I'm new to networking. I'm new to networking. Where else do you network? I know I met you at the Startup 425 event, but do you network anywhere else?
In the past, I went to a few, the social event, and some are, specific therapist event as well. Yeah, that's what I tried.
Okay, very good. So, and are you a part of a therapist organization?
We have a very not official organization, but Facebook has the therapist group. Usually we got to know each other through that group and got referral as well.
All right. So since those aren't really, they don't have networking meetings, but if you ever run into an organization that might need networking speaker, someone that like myself to come in and speak for them, I would love for you to refer me to those organizations, okay?
Sure,
and then
definitely.
I think for you, I belong to an organization called American Business Women's Association, and I'd love to, pretend we're in the same city, I'd love to invite you to go with me. Would you be open to that?
Definitely. Thank you for the invitation. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Sounds great.
So I will open my calendar, tell you when that next event is, and you can be my guest.
Thank you.
Can I put you on my email list? I just want to stay connected through email, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, great.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And then this question here, are they a good prospect for my business? She actually could be a good prospect for my sales and marketing coaching if she decides she wants to fish for herself. But right now, she said she wants to fish with somebody to fish for her. So I'm going to refer her to somebody who will do that, because that's not what I do.
I see. Thank you.
And then How can I serve you? What can I do to help you?
So yeah, I think, as what your professional is, definitely there's I think, as you mentioned, the mutual referral, maybe there's someone I know and they interested in learning more about the networking and wants to do fishing themselves, then I would definitely refer them to you. So
Okay.
you can, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then if you know other therapists, like you said, that they want to learn it for themselves. So the next question is, are you a good strategic alliance for me? Not so much. I mean, if you run into someone, but a good strategic alliance for me would be someone else that maybe coaches small businesses, but they coach in the area of, building their structure and systems and stuff like that, but they don't do a lot of sales and marketing coaching. That's a good alliance for me. A good alliance for you might be a different type of therapist, but not family. So not so much, but then what social media are you on? Are you on Facebook, Macy?
Yeah, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. But those are all my personal account. I have a Facebook, the therapist practice account. That's the only
Okay.
account for the business.
Okay, good. I would prefer to connect with you on your personal and your business, if you don't mind, and you can do the same for me.
Sure.
And that's because I just kind of want to get to know you, right?
Yeah.
And then it's better to stay connected on your personal page than the business page, because if you haven't noticed, you probably have liked 1,000 pages, but you never see any of the posts from those pages, because Facebook, unless you pay to play, you're not going to see. So I want to see you, and my only way to see you is to connect with your personal page. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Awesome. Well, Macy, thank you so much for taking some time out. And this wouldn't be this structured, y'all, just so you know. Right now, I'm using the checklist to demonstrate, but we would be having more back and forth conversation over a 30-minute to an hour period. But just know that when I get finished, I know more about her, and I'm going to make a connection for you, real life, with Suzette, because I know Suzette is going to help. And now you can also see how being a part of a referral network is key, because when I asked her, did she want to fish for herself or did she want someone to fish for her? If she had said fish for herself, I would have said, oh, well, we should talk some more about how I can help. But when she said she wants someone to fish for her, I'm looking out for my referral network partner. And so Suzette will get a referral, whether it works out or not.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toni.
All right. That's
Appreciate
the end of that. Thank you, Macy, for playing along. What do you think? Yes, Julia.
Good, really good. I learned the skills if I have ever need to networking with others and using the checklist to know them more, and also figuring out if they're called strategic alliance with my business. So really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good. Go ahead, Julia. Katie, I see your hand.
What was the point you were making about business Facebook pages? I missed that.
Yeah. So business Facebook pages, y'all know it's a pay-to-play situation. So if you don't pay to boost your posts or to run ads from your business page, nobody sees what you post on your business page. Think about all the pages you've liked. Do you see those pages in your timeline? No, you do not. So that's why connecting with people on a personal page, and you also, it's a good idea to mix it up. You can, I post business all the time on my personal page, but I also post personal on my personal page because I want people to know me personally as well. So I would say 50% of my posts are business and 50% are personal.
Can I follow up? Would you recommend not having a business Facebook page then?
a lot of value in them unless you're going to boost posts and really drive traffic to them. It used to be when Facebook first started, put up a page, everybody like your page, and they actually did show your posts to people. But then they put that blue boost post button on your, that's how they make their money. And I'm not mad at them, but really, I don't see value in my business page at all. And I have 2,000 followers on my business page, and I just stopped. No, so.
Unless you're going to do ads. I mean, let's say if I want to do ads. Yeah, then
if you do ads,
then it's worth it.
Then it's value. Yeah. All right, Katie, you had a comment. Uh-oh, let me unmute you. I said I wasn't going to take the whole time, and here I did it.
I had a quick question. One of the things, and I think I'm like many people that have found real value in Zoom, I used to use with my company, and we used to use WebEx, which is much more complicated. What do you think about, especially if people are in a different city or if time is short, what do you think about trying to set up a Zoom meeting before a coffee, kind of like as a pre-coffee thing?
Yeah, or it could be the coffee. So that's what I was saying. I use Zoom now because if you know anything about Houston, James, isn't Houston a small planet from one side of town to the other? So I don't even drive across town anymore. I use Zoom exclusively for my networking one-to-one, especially when I don't know the person and I don't know if there's any synergy between us or not. So I actually start with Zoom calls now.
Okay. Okay.
Which, by the way, if any of you want a one-to-one with me, you can go to meetwithtoniharristaylor.com and find a 30-minute get-to-know-you networking. And it'll send you the Zoom link.
How long have you been doing Zoom before a coffee date? Have you been doing it for a few years?
I still pay $9.99. So I was an early adopter of Zoom before Zoom was Zoom. So 2014, I got my account.
Okay.
So, and that's how, let me say this. For those of you who have a business that doesn't have walls, in other words, you can go national, international, Shelley, Emily, you should be using Zoom to connect internationally. I've spoken in Canada 5 times because I built relationships through Zoom. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and close out my presentation because I want to share the story about how networking has literally changed my life. Okay, this picture here is me in Canada, the lady in the pink dress. Let me show you how the power of social media and networking online. She and I are in a Facebook group together called Females in Finance. She posted a picture of herself on the side of a bus, city bus. I was like, who is this woman? So instead of just liking it, scrolling past and liking it, I noticed that she tagged the location was Ontario, Toronto. Well, I was already going to Toronto to speak. And so, and anytime I go networking, or I go traveling, I look for friends in that city. So if I got to eat anyway, I might as well invite them to come eat with me. So I was looking for connections in Toronto. But when she posted the picture, it said Burlington, Ontario. I went to Google Maps and I put in the city I was going to and Burlington, and it turns out they were like 5 miles apart. So now I'm paying attention to this lady. So I comment about her picture on the side of a bus. A couple days later, she posts herself flying her airplane. Okay. Who is this woman? I'm thinking. Now I already know I'm going to be in her area. So I'm like, you have a plane? I'm coming to your area. I would love to fly with you. And she and I connected. We went to Messenger. I said, we need to do a Zoom call. She said, what is Zoom? I said, I'll teach you. Send her the link. She got on Zoom. We connected. Long story short, I introduced her to the lady who was having a women's conference. She ended up setting up a booth at the ladies' conference. Then she invited me to come back and be her speaker for her women's event. And I was her closing keynote speaker. And that's the picture you see. And yes, she did take me up in her airplane. Now, I could have just scrolled past every one of her interesting pictures, liked it, and kept going. But I went drastic, one extra step, Google Maps, drastic. That was drastic, y'all. Especially me letting her fly me in her plane, two-seater plane. But that's how you gotta be drastic. So that's one story, how networking changed my life. This is my husband. We've been married 4 years. Everything I just taught you led me to him. Any single ladies, gentlemen, want to get okay, let me tell the story real quick. So I told you I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses. And if you see this picture here in the upper right, I spent 10 days in a coma in 2014, 2015. So my first outing after that incident where I was very gravely ill, I went to a party. And there was a group of young men holding up the wall like they do. And so I struck up a conversation with one of them, and he said, I'm looking for a wife. I said, well, dude, I'm too old for you. He's like, not you. I said, because we want to marry in our faith. And he said, no, but I told him, I said, well, my daughter and her friends, you might be interested in one of them. And he said, well, make something happen. I said, I'll set up a game night. So I said, are you on Facebook? Now watch this, y'all. I'm at an event. I meet somebody, interesting conversation. I said, I'll set up a game night. I said, are you on Facebook? He said, yes. We connected that night on Facebook. 3 weeks later, I had the game night. He came. He didn't find anybody interesting. And in fact, it turned out after he had a conversation with me later that night, he met a young lady. So he says to me, oh, I met somebody that night. I think it's going to go forward, so I'm good. So he and I had a sidebar date. During that date, at the game night, that was our coffee date. During that date, we talked about relationships. And I said, well, you know, I'm a widow. I'm a 2-time widow, actually. I say I'm a black widow, not the black widow. I do not kill husbands, I promise. So he said, what are you looking for? I said, well, I'm not looking, but if you meet somebody, this is the qualities I need. So that was in May 2015. He left, didn't see him again. Saw him on Facebook, commented on his stuff, liked his stuff. This is why you have to connect with people on social media. Commented, liked his stuff. We never crossed paths again. In October of that year, he got engaged to that girl. So I commented and I said, you know, congratulations. And then my now husband, who didn't want anything to do with Facebook, got on Facebook like a month before that. He's friends with the girl in the relationship. He calls her and says, everybody's finding somebody but GT. He talks about himself in the third person. But GT. He said, so she turned to her friend, and who was my friend, and said, do you know somebody? And he said, I might. I get a messenger, Facebook Messenger. Would you like to meet somebody? Not sure. Let me see. Does he have school-age kids? Because if he do, I don't. He's like, nope, he doesn't have school-age kids. And the rest, as they say, is history. All because I stayed connected to Johnny on social media. Everything I told you, my husband was a referral. because we had a date and I told him what I was looking for. And when the time came up and he was asked, who do you know? Because we stay, if otherwise, had we not stayed connected on Facebook, he would not have remembered me because we didn't go to the same congregation. Everything I just taught you led me to my husband. So do what I tell you. And if you don't find a business mate, you'll find a husband or wife. And then I have a viral video on Facebook. So if you want to go check it out, go into the Facebook search, type in Toni Harris Taylor Goalcast, Goalcast. And it has over 5.5 million views, and that all came through networking. So that's the end, people. I am tired. I gave it all I had for you. Come back and we got 5 minutes. I'd like to hear your aha moments. What did you learn and what drastic steps are you going to use? Okay, I'm going to call you by name. Julia.
Oh, well, certainly I like the idea of using Zoom as a place to do the coffees, because I've worked for a lot of newspapers in the past. I've been an editor, reporter for various newspapers, and journalists really don't have time. I mean, I'm still doing a lot of writing, and for people to ask, oh, I want an hour of your time for coffee, you don't have that kind of time. So Zoom is great. I like that idea. Can I meet you for 15 minutes on Zoom?
Yeah,
I'd like to do that. Just one more thing I want to say about you meeting your husband. If I assume he's a Jehovah's Witness, right? That's amazing, because I mean, that's a very specific kind of person. That they're hard to meet. That's amazing.
Target market.
Yeah.
Target marketing. I'm telling you, it's everything I taught. And yes, there's not a lot of Jehovah's Witness men that are our age that are available. So awesome, Julia. Shelley, what did you learn? What are you going to do drastic?
Well, I liked the LinkedIn where your tip was to enable Bluetooth and do that. You know, when we finally meet up in person, that sounds like a cool thing. And you know, I had been thinking about what kind of groups. You know, I have 2 kids who are school kids, and between that and being a student and having the calligraphy and the other business, you know, my biggest problem is time. Yeah. So, but I think that you really push the join a referral networking group, and I would kind of like to know more about how to narrow it down about which ones to join, because you know, like I thought about Toastmasters so I could practice speaking, and you know, that's got a lot of business, but some of them, you know, some of the groups are better than others. So
schedule an appointment with me. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Oh, okay, Katie, what you got? Katie, me and you in this unmute, we are just not getting along. Okay.
You know, go ahead. I would kind of say something like Shelley said too. So I'm thinking about joining Toastmasters because I want to get my public speaking skills to be better. I liked what you said about speaking in front of other people, because I spoke, and speaking doesn't always have to be huge groups of people. It can be smaller groups. And I spoke in front of a small group of person once, and a person came up to me and they rented a room in my house, and he'll probably be a lifelong friend.
Yep.
You know, I'm probably going to go to Chicago with him, and I've met his family. You know, he's just a really good person, a really good friend. And I met him because I spoke. Yeah. So I want to increase those skills. And even though it's not something I really, you know, it's hard for me to do, I think I can, especially smaller groups. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
I love it.
It can be 10
Speaking
people.
is the best marketing tool ever. It's the best marketing tool ever. Well, I don't have time to go through everybody. Did anybody else have a major aha moment you want to share real quick? And then I'm going to turn it back over to Dean. Okay, Christine, go ahead. Let me unmute you.
Hi,
Okay,
I was
go
trying
ahead.
to mute the entire time.
Okay.
I really like the date part because really, a lot of times when I'm talking to people, I don't really set up anything, so then it just never meet them again. It's just
Yep.
over.
Yep. The date is I'm telling you, if y'all can embrace the date, I paid $6,000 for that. If you can embrace that and use it, it will change your life. Because you don't know who people know. And if you approach it from the area of I want to help you, who's gonna say no to that?
Yeah, I
Right?
really like that part too. I was thinking of doing that since I'm a student. I don't really have a lot value right now, but I'm trying to learn some new skills so I can see how I can help other people.
Oh, yeah. Just tap into the skills you do have. And don't minimize what you already know, because there's value in what you know. And people will want to tap into it. Well, listen, I enjoyed my time. I hope you all got a lot of value. I'm going to give you my contact information if you want to take a picture. By the way, my cartoons, that Bitmoji, she has made me more money because I use her to stand out in social media in front of key people I want to get in front of. It is all strategic. It may look silly. It may be cute. I use it very strategically. So, that phone number is no longer in service. I got to change this. Let me give you the right number. This is my cell number, 713-387-9273. Or you can go to meetwithtoniharristaylor.com and schedule a time. I'm going to turn it back over to Dean and Duncan. Thank y'all so much. Y'all were wonderful. Woo!
Thanks, Toni.
Yay.
I appreciate everything tonight, and I appreciate everyone joining us. And we will get the recording out to everyone that attended. And everyone have a great evening. And Toni, get some sleep.
Good night, everybody. I look forward to hearing from y'all. Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.